Good afternoon to all of you. And for the last lesson that we're going to have, going to have lesson 4 for mango production. So, Mangifera indica, as it is scientifically known, has an increasing commercial importance all over the world and reputed as par of excellence, assumed leading position among commercial fruits, being rich in vitamins, minerals, carbohydrates, proteins, antioxidants, and enzyme with stomach soothing properties. So it's also our major favorite fruit. Aside from its contribution to the economy, it also has ecological functions since tree prevents soil erosion and minimize greenhouse effect. It is also a tropical export crop and produced in about 90 countries in the world with a production over 25.1 million tons. In Asia, it is the main producer with 76% of the total world population, followed by America, which is 13%, and Africa with 9% and less than 1% for Europe and Oceania. Mango is also considered as high value crop with proper management of favorable growing condition. It could give farmers an average income of about 250,000 or more per hectare. Mango is a permanent crop, and as it grows old, with a proper management, productivity increases. The variety of commercial importance in the country is Carabao. It is known internationally as Philippine Super Mango and one of the world's best varieties. Due to its superior, it has great demand both local and international markets. It also ranked third among the most important fruit crop next to banana and pineapple in terms of area planted and volume of production. The mango industry of the country supports about 2.5 million farmers and contributes 17.91 for fresh mango production and 29.7 million US dollars for processed products. It contributes 17.9 for fresh billion pesos to GVA in agriculture with a domestic and export value of 41.6 billion pesos and 31 million US dollars. For fresh mango production, in 2010, the area planted to mango is about 189,436 hectares with 8,526,816 bearing trees and production of 825,000 metric tons of fruits, according to Bureau of Agricultural Statistics in 2011. And the fresh fruits reach up to 15,000 metric tons, of which 68% went to Hong Kong and to Japan by 5% and at 70% and 5% to China and Malaysia and the rest of the other countries. So for the cultural management practices, I will also be giving you a video presentation on this. The requirements for ideal mango production, a geographical information system or GIS map for mango developed by the DA bar was used as guide in determining suitable areas for mango. So the following condition should be given attention in selecting areas for establishing of mango orchards. So first, distinct wet and dry season. So during its productive years, mango tree should be exposed to dry period of at least 4 to 5 months. So this condition simulates stress necessary for the trees to accumulate reserve food and enhance maturation of leaves in preparation for flowering. And in contrast, areas with continuous rainfall tend to make trees more vegetative and difficult to induce. So the following provinces are ideal for growing mangoes like the Abra, Antique, Bataan, Batangas, Bulacan, Cavite, Cebu, Cotabato, Davao, Guimaras, Ilocos Norte, Sur, Iloilo, Laguna, La Union, Negros Occidental, Negros Oriental, Nueva Ecija, Mindoro Oriental, Palawan, Pampanga, Pangasinan, Rizal, Tarlac, and Zambales. So ideally, the dry period should start from flower and extend through harvest season. This condition also minimizes problem with diseases and hastens the development of high quality fruits. So second is the soil. So mango is not exacting with regards to its soil requirements since trees are deep-rooted and grow over a wide range of soil type and fertility levels. However, for commercial plantation, well-drained soil moderately rich in organic matter with pH ranging from 5.5 to 7.5 should be selected, but most ideal is pH 6.5. So planting trees in waterlogged areas should be avoided to prevent depletion of from oxygen and infection due to soil-borne fungus like the Phytophthora. Third is the elevation, and for commercial planting, it is recommended that mangoes should be planted at elevation not higher than 600 meters above sea level. Trees grown at higher level will have the late flowering and fruit development and also susceptible to diseases. We also have temperature, which influences the period of leaf development, time of flowering, and maturity of fruits. A mean temperature of 28 degrees Celsius is favorable for successful mango production. So avoid planting trees in high altitudes where temperatures oftentimes becomes low. Next is rainfall. It increases the relative humidity, also increase hence incidence of diseases, particularly yung anthracnose and scab are high and control measures are often not economical. So continuous rainfall also makes the tree more vegetative, making flower induction difficult. On the other hand, rain at every early stages of plant growth is necessary for fast establishment ng trees in the field and early flashing of leaves. Next, we have wind. High wind velocity experienced during the months of February and March enhances evaporation of water, causing drying of soil and wilting of young plants. So in windy areas, grafted trees tend to break off, causing mechanical injuries and subsequent fruit drops. So planting of windbreaks along the orchard's perimeter can be done. So for the planting materials for an establishment of new farms, it is recommended that cultivars be chosen based on the resistance to pests, suitability to the site, yield potential, and market preference. So the following are recommended strains ng Carabao Mango as approved and registered in the National Seed Industry Council or NSIC. We have Gold strain, formerly GES73. We have GES7 848, Lamau strain 1, MMSU Gold, Sweet Elena, Talaban Fresco, Tanaleon, El Fondo Guemara Super, formerly Galila, GTA Sweet, and P1 King Rodolfo. So signs of this registered variety source strain can be sourced out from the NSIC registered parent trees or from established foundation scion groves validated and certified by the Bureau of Plant Industry or the National Seed Quality Control Services. So grafted seedlings are available in accredited nurseries also of BPI. So for the mango propagation, it can be both propagated sexually using the seeds and asexually by means of vegetative parts. So propagation by seed is very common, and however under orchard type management, more growers prefer to plant grafted mangoes instead of seedlings since more trees are planted to a hectare and fruit production is much early. Other advantages of sexual propagation, we have trees planted from seeds are deep-rooted, such as anchorage of the nutrient exploration are enhanced. Yield of seeded trees are generally high as compared to grafted. Long-lived mango trees continue to be productive over hundred of years age and easy and fast way of multiplying the variety. While the disadvantage naman ng sexual propagation, we have seeded trees do not produce fruits that are true to type. This means that seeds coming from the superior fruits do not always come up with the expectation of the grower, since sweet and big fruits may not necessarily produce the same characteristics when planted from seeds. So trees have enormous sizes, tall with large canopies. Many of the cultural practices like pruning, spraying, bagging, harvesting are difficult to implement. Seeded trees take longer time to bear fruits and they fruits only after 10 to 15 years from planting. So, using seeds as rootstock is one important use ng seeds is to grow them as a source ng rootstock, and healthy and vigorous rootstock are the key to the successful propagation of mango. And several cultivars such as Carabao, Pico, Cachamita, Pahutan can be grown as rootstock for Carabao mango. Depending on the variety, rootstock can be fast growing as Pahutan, medium as in Pico and Cachamita, and slow growing as in Carabao. So the second rootstock shoots will also influence the size and height of the tree as well as the fruit quality. So for the care and maintenance of seeds and rootstock, seeds should come from matured fruits. It should be free from insect damage, diseases, or mechanical injuries, and avoid seeds coming from processing plants since most of them are non-viable due to the exposure from heat. Dehusking or removal of the husk is recommended to facilitate fast germination. Be sure that the husk seeds are plump and plant only those that are free from pest damage or physiological injuries. So healthy seeds should be sown with concave side down 5 centimeter apart, 1 centimeter deep. So this position prevents the development of crooked stem after germination. So seeds may also be sown in wooden seed bags with 20 by 20 by 3 inches using medium consisting 1 part compost organic fertilizer, 1 part sand, and 1 part garden soil. So under nursery conditions, a seed bed 2 by 8 meter is recommended. And sawdust or coconut coir can also be used as germinating medium. And germination starts at about 10 to 15 days from sowing, and seedling is now ready for transplanting 25 to 30 days after sowing or when it has 2 to 3 pairs of fully developed green leaves. So put seedlings in plastic bags 8 by 10 inches containing 1 part garden soil, 1 part sand, and 1 part organic fertilizer. So when transplanting older seedlings, leaves should be cut into half to minimize transpiration. Otherwise, this may result to wilting and eventually death of seedlings. Fertilization is needed a month after transplanting by applying 1/2 teaspoon ng complete fertilizer per seedling and foliar spray or of fertilizer with high nitrogen like 1 tablespoon per 20-liter water. So it is not advisable to fertilize plants immediately after planting, and fertilization is repeated monthly intervals until the plants are vigorous and ready for grafting. So water is necessary, especially during dry months, and mortality of seedling is high when water becomes a problem. And it is recommended that the water should be directly applied in the bag and not poured on the leaves to minimize incidents and diseases, especially anthracnose. So growers should inspect the plants weekly for the presence of mga insects like scales, corn silk beetle, tip borer, sesame fly, thrips disease such as anthracnose. So insecticide or fungicide should be sprayed whenever necessary, and seedlings are ready for grafting when the stems attain pencil size and diameter and approximately 8 to 10 months old. So the rootstock like pahutan can be grafted when seedlings are 46 months old, provided these are vigorous and healthy. However, carabao and pico usually slow growers when used as rootstock, hence these require longer time for development. So seedlings should be grown under shade using net or coconut leaves to prevent drying and scalding of the leaves from the direct heat of the sun. Avoid putting the seedling under mango trees for inoculants of diseases may transfer from the seedling, especially during rainy months. So we also have advantages of propagation. We have asexually propagated trees produce more fruits that are true to type when planted. The expected characters of the parents are carried to the offspring. While earliness to bearing or precocity takes a shorter time under proper management, grafted trees bear fruits 2 to 3 years after planting. However, it is recommended that the first 4 years of growth should be encouraged for proper establishment in the field. And trees are small in size and several numbers can be planted to a hectare. In addition of many recommended cultural practices can be implemented without difficulty, like spraying, interrow cultivation, and bagging and harvesting. So we also have disadvantages of asexual propagation, where grafted trees are shallow rooted and easily uprooted by strong winds and typhoons. It is also common notion that grafted trees have shorter lifespan. However, it is yet to be proven since the oldest grafted trees are approximately 90 years old yet are vigorous and productive. Cleft grafting are several methods of asexual propagation in mango for enarching, budding, marcoting, and grafting. So cleft grafting is commonly used since it is easy to perform, and the percentage of success is high. So these are the steps that you're going to do in cleft grafting. So first, collect signs from identified bearing mother trees and cut them about 6 to 8 inches long. Science should be exposed to the sunlight and about 4 to 5 months from flashing. Next is other practice includes defoliation of the leaves prior to cutting. This allows the sign to store food that are enhanced for fast development of young buds. And this practice is often done in small scale propagation of mango and seldom followed in large nurseries. Next, in the process of grafting, select signs of similar size with the rootstock and prepare the sign by removing the leaves. Make a perpendicular cut at the both sides of the base from a wedge-shaped tip. And with a sharp grafting knife, cut the rootstock 12 inches from the base. Then this will provide allowance in case of union is not successful. And make incision at the center of the cut portion enough for the entrance of the wedge-shaped tip of the sign. Insert the sign in the incision made on the rootstock and see to it that the contact is provided between the sign and stock. Wrapping the union or the point of contact with a plastic strip will ensure good grip. This will also prevent the sign from tapering off during the healing process, and it is recommended to wrap cover the upper portion of the sign with plastic strips bag to prevent drying. When graft is successful, young shoots are visible after 2 weeks, and immediately expose the shoots by removing the plastic cover to allow subsequent growth. So do not remove the plastic strip that binds the sign and the rootstock, and place the grafts under shade and water them regularly. Fertilization can hasten growth, and the grafts are ready for disposal or planting after 6 to 8 months, while other farmers may prefer 2-year end grafts for field planting. And lastly, hardening of grafts is recommended before planting. This is done by withholding water and gradual exposure of grafts to sunlight. This practice will allow the grafts to resist to harsh environment in the field. So we have 6 kinds of planting materials. We have grafted mangoes purchased from registered nurseries or certified seeds. So these are accredited nursery operators which follow the proper nursery management such as selection of seeds for rootstocks and care and maintenance of rootstocks, preparation of soil media, dehusking, germination, transplanting of seedlings, fertilization, watering, insect pest diseases control, and grafting techniques. So all of this signs are taken from registered mother trees. Next, 1-year-old versus 2-year-old graft are commonly while the 1-year-old graft is commonly used as planting materials for mango. However, these are planted in the field. Mortality is often high, and replaced by trees would mean uneven growth. So thus, some growers prefer to use older grafts as planting materials, although more costly. Older grafts are easy to establish, mortality is low, and trees flower earlier. So the choice of planting materials therefore depends on the capability of the growers, considering price, size of the farm, equipment available for holding and planting. So the difference between single and versus multiple rootstock, aside from the single rootstock, growers can incline to plant mango tree with 2 dipod or 3 tripod rootstock using approach grafting or enarching. So according to proponents of this practice, multiple rootstocks provide better absorption of water nutrients and faster plant growth, and in addition to it secures the tree on the ground, thus prevent uprooting or by typhoons and part of the small growers. So normally approach grafting dipod or tripod is done to assist trees with defective root system, especially those infected with disease. So this method is also recommended for trees with poor anchorage in the soil. With mango, these problems are not critical, so use of single rootstock is still the best way to propagate the tree. So next we have and last in situ grafting. In places where availability of grafted mango is a problem, it is recommended that the seedlings in the field following the desired spacing. When seedlings are about 2 years, branches are grafted in with selected signs using the cleft method. So with this procedure, several signs can be grafted to a tree. While the advantages in situ grafting are that management of cylinder is omitted, and percent successful grafts is high. However, shading is recommended to prevent death of newly inserted scions. So, we also have how to establish a mango orchard in the next session that we're going to have. So thank you very much for listening. And if you have questions or clarification regarding our first few topics on about the mango production and using the different cultural management and practices. So if you have questions, just post your questions on our chat, fruit group chat. So thank you very much and see you again on the next video.